Hello everyone and welcome to Counsel Co, where we make your dreams a reality. This platform is specifically designed to help students as well as parents to deal with all the questions that they have with regards to either their career choices or what can be done to enhance one's profile. In this series today, we have with us a person who addresses a basic concern that all of us has, which is communication. Today we have with us Hema Bhatia, who is going to be talking about jam and extempore. So hi Hema, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you Hemangi. So nice to see you.
Yeah. I would just like you to first explain to our audience what is it that you do and what is jam and what is extempore.
Sure. Hi everyone. So I am Hema Bhatia, the founder of Enchanting English, where I teach English grammar and creative writing as well as public speaking. I also take classes for IELTS and SAT. Basically, children are always online. So communication skill has become a very important skill to be looked into. So that is where I come up with jams and extempore. Jams is nothing but just a minute mic sessions wherein the children speak on the spot impromptu, and extempore is also the same. Yeah.
So why two different names? I mean, if it's the same, is there a basic difference? And is it meant for all children and all ages?
Yeah, it is meant for all ages, but I do cater from age 9 onwards because as the children are going, they are settling more for online games, which is not letting them communicate on the real world scenario. If you ask them anything, they are faltering, and that is where jams comes into picture. Jams is all about to speak on the spot as well as the body language. So that is where I have specially curated a module wherein we look onto the thinking skills, the analytical skills as well as the body language of the children.
Okay. So when you say that you speak on the spot, okay, I have seen that many children right now are facing a lot of difficulty when they have to express themselves, and it's not got to do with their thoughts. It's got to do with their confidence to be there and speak impromptu. I would say that they might possess the other skills, but that confidence doesn't come, and that might hamper. So what is your take on what kind of strategies can one use so that they can speak confidently?
Very good question, Hemangi, because confidence is something that needs to be built up, and for that the children should be speaking more and more and communicating real world, not online. Here we can always help them to speak on topics. They can be anything under the sun. You can just ask them, okay, so what if a monkey landed here? Let's see what answer they come up with. That will help them to think on the spot. It's some bizarre question, just ask them bizarre questions and you see how their creativity flows and how they start speaking on the spot.
So how is this different from public speaking? And the second part, I'm sorry, the second part of the question is that, yeah, I mean, where are these skills actually implementable in the real life, or where it's based in their careers or their choices?
Okay, sorry, could you come up with the first question? What was
So
that?
my first question to you was that how are these skills different from public speaking?
Okay, public speaking is usually people have the notion that public speaking is especially just in front of an audience, but here I would like to share public speaking is basically expressing your thoughts and views. So these skills are something that are very essential. Coming to where they are applicable in life, many of our children are now settling abroad. They want to study abroad, so they have to appear for IELTS, for SAT. So this is where when they meet the examiners, they have the speaking test. That is where all this comes into picture.
Okay, great. So now tell me that when you said it's for communication, it's for articulating your thoughts when you are speaking with somebody on the spot. right? I think that is the whole skill, that when somebody asks me a question, I should not be taken aback and I should be able to put my thoughts into words. But I think it's a skill acquired. And when you talk about communication, is this pertinent only to oral communication, or it's pertinent even to, let's say, a business communication, how you present yourself when you are in front of people?
Yes. See, basically, communication is verbal as well as non-verbal, and this works for every age group. Also, the school-going children, the college-going children, young adults, and young professionals, as well as people on the higher designations. Because people, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, is where the people automatically get the impression. Your first impression is the last impression, they say. So that is where all this comes into picture.
Okay. Now, generally, when I'm going to be speaking with somebody, rather than what I'm saying, it's what I think that also plays a big picture, in the sense your clarity of thought.
Yes.
What is it that you want to communicate? Now, how does one polish these skills?
Okay, so there are many kinds of structures or process that we follow. Now it is based on a question. Okay, there are many topics which you need to speak on. So if you are guided the structure, like for in my classes, I tell them that you have the narrative, the descriptive, you even have a process sharing topic. So think accordingly and articulate based on the question asked. So that is where the quick thinking comes into focus. You immediately identify what is being asked and how I can respond to it.
So I think understanding what needs to be communicated is a key before one actually starts communicating.
Right.
Okay. Now, keeping in mind that, some people are faced with stage fear or the fear of speaking out. How can one handle that fear? Because I feel that a lot of us have a lot of things to say, but probably we are fearful of how we might sound. And that is what's stopping us.
So I would like to share here that to overcome your fear, you have to do exactly what you're fearing. Yeah, so if it is about public speaking, start expressing. That's the only way out.
Okay, so are there any strategies that one can keep in mind to overcome that fear? I mean, I'm sure that first step is take the step.
Yes.
Right? But other than that, even to take a step, is there any other strategy that one can employ to make sure that they are capable enough to take that first step?
Yeah, sure. They can start from home itself. Mirror exercise is something that is very common and the most suggested one. Apart from that, you can start speaking, talking about things at home. The parents can help the children to speak on anything and everything under the sun. They can pick up, or let's say this is a bottle, speak about it. So that will help them to think faster and express themselves. That is where once they start speaking, they will get the confidence that yes, I can speak.
Okay. And in all of this, when you say the confidence to speak up, the confidence to understand the question and put it forward, the confidence to make sure that you are going out there and at least taking the first step. How important is reading in all of this?
Now that is something really that even I'm struggling with, because reading is something that has gone thanks to internet, but reading will help you enhance your vocabulary. It will help you to paraphrase the same thing, how it can be expressed in different ways. And apart from that, it will also increase your fluency. It will affect your thinking skills. It will show you different points, the way you can think about anything. You get different viewpoints. So reading is very essential. Yeah, reading, it should be. In fact, I have started my reading club, And I am getting children where the parents are always saying that the child is reading but not understanding. So it is basically for that I have started the reading classes.
Yes, so that was exactly what I was going to ask you, that many people do read, but it's not read from the point of view of putting your thoughts forward or understanding that person's perspective. It's either an exercise or it's just something. So technically when I read, I should read it with mindfulness is what you're trying to say, or how should one read? I mean, understand that I'm going to be having a conversation with you or maybe somebody outside and I'm not well read on that topic, okay? But sometimes when you converse, you even pick up. So I think there are things like being mindful when you're talking, being observant. That can also play a part if my child is not a reader.
Yes, mindfulness, being observant, and basically comprehending what is being asked, that is very essential. And for that, you do need to read.
Right, so I think we all have these standardized tests that test us on everything like reading, writing, speaking, and observation and comprehension. So I think when you look at any language, you would say that these are the 4 pillars on which that language stands.
Yes, the basic 4 pillars are LSRW, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. I have included my own, that is thinking. You start thinking in that language and you'll be able to express yourself better.
I love the fact of thinking. There's one more thing, like generally people feel that when I'm talking to somebody or when I'm communicating to somebody, it needs to be in English. Okay? And yes, it's the most commonly accepted norm of professional speaking or communication. But when somebody is very confident in another language other than English, do you think that can translate? Is it because of they are thinking in their mother tongue and speaking in English?
You mean to say that they are thinking in their language and
Yes.
when they are expressing in English, if they are good at English, they'll get the message across. But if they do literal translations, they might get into trouble.
Okay, so that's something that you understand. You do not be very literal at everything. So I would like to know, and I'm sure everybody in the audience would like to know, that when we talk about speaking as a skill, what are a few things that they need to remember? Because I believe that sometimes even I speak very fast, and it might not get across to that other person. So what are the few things that we need to keep in mind whilst speaking, even on a regular basis?
Yes, that is a good question, because many of us have a habit either of speaking too fast, too slow, the diction is not clear. So I would suggest, for example, you may start with the tongue twisters. That will help you loosen up your tongue.
Okay.
Apart from that, always maintain a pace. If you think you are fast, try monitoring how fast you're speaking and then go on a slower pace. Record yourself. That will help you. Apart from that, your body language. Like, it should not be you are expressing grief but your eyes are smiling. That would go totally against it. So all these things play a very important role, and we should be mindful of that, because your non-verbal cues give another impression and whatever you're saying might not match up to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we all need to remember, that it's body, mind, tongue and your personality that should showcase what you're trying to say to make an impactful conversation.
Yes.
Now, we have been talking about communication, and something that always strikes me is that parents try to build a profile which is academically very strong. But unfortunately, communication is one skill which is often ignored. So I might have a brilliant child, but I have not helped that child overcome the stage fear, or I have not helped that child be very positive and vocal about his or her opinions. That somehow impacts one career. Not only that, it's not because if I do a jam session, it might not reflect on my work profile that I've done that. So can you tell us the advantages of doing this as a session, and will it somewhere polish their debating skills, their presentation skills, or how does it actually impact?
That is a very good question and a very important one, Hemangi, because communication skills are something that are being ignored thanks to the marks, academic marks that everyone concentrates on. But having said that, when you enroll for a jam session, you learn to think on the spot, answer on the spot, as well as you are also taught the way to present it. Now, if you go anywhere in the world, okay, be it, let's say it's a vegetable seller, okay, the way that vegetable seller calls out his his slogan or whatever, the way he says it, the way his voice we hear, how confident that voice is, the way he carries himself, we will be attracted to go to that vegetable seller because he'll be sharing about how good his vegetables are, how healthy they are, whatever his script may be. So that is, see, even a person who is absolutely who even doesn't let's say he's not that that much into depth of a subject, okay, but even if that person says it with such a skill, like the way that person carries his body language, the way he modulates his voice, the way he speaks, whatever it is, you'll naturally be attentive to that person.
Right.
Okay, so here I would just like to add, we all see KBC, right? Now, Amitabh Bachchan's body language is something that everyone can always learn from. The way he carries himself when he's asking the questions, the way that he speaks, the way he modulates his voice, he comes across as a powerful person, and he demands our attention, he commands our attention. That is something we have so many actors. If you look, they have always concentrated on these skills. Okay, I know for sure that many, the latest, they are all graduates, but the earlier ones weren't. So it is something that is very important. Even you have people reaching up to the top, but when you see, they haven't been even graduates. So how? The way they carried themselves, the way they put their points across, and slowly they become more confident. Okay, so that is where communication helps. See, everything in the world needs to be communicated.
Yes.
Now it's, of course, online is having too much of the stage, but still, if you go to see Insta Reels, FB Reels, what are people looking at? The way people are carrying out themselves, the way the content is being shared, isn't it? So that's where communication is also playing a role, isn't it?
Yes, so communication as a skill is paramount.
Yes.
Wherever you go. Even I think you should learn to communicate with yourself also at another level altogether. Having said that, there is one thing that comes across to me, that as educators, both of us know the importance of reading. But we also know that there is so much of external stimulus, as you said, internet, social media, gaming, that sadly that still has not come up. Or there are some people who just generally learn differently. They might be, very kinesthetic, or they might be very auditory.
Yes.
So how do those people make sure that they are up to par, or their vocabulary is up to par?
Yes, for the auditory ones, they can always listen to audiobooks. I think that will help them. For the kinesthetic, even they can listen to it to the audio, and they can maybe shown pictures wherein they develop their vocabulary. This I think will help them to move, to move and be on par with other children. Because I do have a child coming with me who is on a spectrum. But the main idea is for the child to collaborate, and that is what I'm working at. Apart from that, teaching that child vocabulary. Now, vocabulary, that child knows. But still, interacting with others, that child will come to know more about the words that can be used. So yeah, I think it's all inclusive. You should have an inclusive environment wherein everyone can learn from one another. That is what I believe, that you learn uh, when one teaches to learn. That is what I believe. And even children, when they are together, they learn, and that is what I'm trying, because everybody is isolated now. It's just them on mobile, that's it. So the more the connection, the more they will learn. I think you must have read about Sweden, wherein they have gone back to the basics. They have shunned the computers.
They've gone back to books.
Yeah, they've gone back to reading and writing. So I am an old school in that. I do believe in writing, and I do make my children write, which of course they are always protesting against. But when you write, it actually helps your brain to remember better. So writing is also something that is being ignored. So if you read, if you write, you're able to remember better. So that is where everything. See, one skill cannot be done in isolation. It has to be all four together. That is what I always say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Hema, for sharing this with us. And I'm sure that everybody now understands that communication as a skill and the ability to express yourself is a key component to feeling confident, to making sure that you can share your views, and at the same time to build connections
Right.
in a world that's getting isolated. So thank you so much for being with us, Hema, and again I would really like to appreciate your sharing your time with us.
Thank you.
And we look forward to your comments, and sure that if you have any questions for Hema, she's always here to help you out. So thank you so much everyone for watching this.